This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
This discussion of the players' union and the owners and whatnot getting together for a contract, and the comments being made about we're doing this for the guys that were before us, and really it's the guys that follow us, and really it's for ourselves too. I mean, that's who they do this for. The thing that struck me the other day, I was listening to Thetford Nashby and Will Culpepper was on from the Double T Varsity Club, and they were talking about the Texas Tech Hall of Fame, and Will talked about Kerry Hyder being in town to speak to the football team the other day. Okay. And he said that, talked about how Kerry Hyder was one of few that had a 10-year career in the National Football League. Now, he didn't play every game every year for 10 years, but he was involved in a roster or for a team for, basically 10 years. And he was talking about how rare that is. And they were speaking to the team on that. And so when I did the Google search on that, less than 5% of all NFL players successfully play for 10 years or more. The league average is 3.3. So it still is a young man's game. Now, the odds change for you if you're drafted. All drafted and signed players, it's 3.3, less than 5%. Players making an opening day roster, it's 6 years. 10 to 15% of the league. First round draft picks, it's 9.3 years, 40 to 50% of the probability of reaching 10 or more years. The opening day roster was 10 to 15% probability of reaching 10 to 15 years. And if you're a Pro Bowl player, your probability of getting to 10 or more years is 60 to 70%. And the average career length of a Pro Bowl selection is almost 12 years. So I thought, well, I'll do this for Major League Baseball because I thought, I'll bet this is higher for Major League Baseball, but it's not significantly higher. Fewer than 10% of all Major League Baseball players get to the 10-year milestone, and that's when they're fully vested with maximum pensions and premium lifelong health care benefits, which is really those are the two keys for a Major League Baseball player, and that's something that that the union has fought for over the years and clawed and gotten from the owners, and really the owners have been almost without a fight, when it comes to Major League Baseball, because the players have had the upper hand for decades, and I don't know that that's going to end anytime soon.
Doesn't seem that way.
Doesn't seem that way. But anyway, I just thought I thought all that was interesting. At least it was interesting to me, so I wanted to share with you.
And one of the reasons that the players have had the upper hand is that there are enough Major League Baseball owners that like winning baseball games and will do whatever it takes to do that. And they're in the NFL, I would say all 32 teams in the NFL want to win football games. Mm-hmm. They're at different stages of that. Yeah. It's getting a better draft pick to get your quarterback so you can make a playoff run. Like, that's the goal for everyone. No one is trying to just make payroll and have a profitable season like you get with baseball. If that were to change, then the owners might actually be able to defend off the players' union. Also, keep in mind, the players' union goes, the players and owners have been fighting each other since day one of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, you get that.
They have not gotten along since the 1800s.
Yeah.
So this is a long-standing feud that is never really going to go away.
It's millionaires and billionaires fighting, and the billionaires are always going to win.
Except, are they?
Well, in baseball, they haven't done as good a job of winning. And I think too in the NFL, I mean, it feels like that those guys, I mean, it's a money making machine. I mean, it is from the TV contracts to the stadiums to the concessions to the jersey sales to everything.
Do you think there is a professional sports franchise of the Big Four that is losing money?
Okay, so technically or in reality?
In reality.
No, I don't.
It's a pretty profitable thing to do.
It's to
own a major league franchise, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, or even hockey.
And it used to be, especially for me when it was like the owners, they bought baseball teams or hockey teams or NFL teams because it was like a hobby. They were a fan of the team. Mm-hmm. And they had a business, George Steinbrenner, famously a shipbuilder, the guy that owned the Rangers for a long time was in the TV and radio business. The Detroit Tigers were owned by a pizza guy, and that's how they made their money. And and a lot of those guys in the late 60s and the 70s bought their franchises. While they had to invest a significant amount of money, it wasn't like $1 billion like it is today or more. They were able to buy it for, CBS owned the Yankees and they wanted out of the baseball business and Steinbrenner and his group bought them. Jerry Jones basically saved the Cowboys from going into bankruptcy. So I don't know. It's just very interesting. We get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. This is very cool. My cousin is a trainer for the Angels. He made the All-Star game tonight. Listen for Eric Munson.
Oh, that's very cool.
That is very cool. Well, good for him. Congratulations to him. That's awesome. It's always good to hear those stories of the connection to people that are relatives or friends or things along those lines, and you're proud for him, and you get to see that, and that's really, really cool. So good for him. We'll have the All-Star game for you tonight at 6:00 on Double T 97.3. So should be a lot of fun. Only one Ranger in there, in Jacob Latz, and it'll be interesting to see if he even gets into the game because he pitched on Sunday, but maybe he will.
Hey, not a starter.
Yeah, so might be able to get in there.
Yeah, I mean relievers sometimes pitch back-to-back days a lot of times.
Yeah, that's true. So look for that tonight. Is no Josh Young and no Davis Martin, unfortunately. But sometimes that's just the way baseball goes, right?
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive time for this day in sports history. Today is July 14th. 2026. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to start us off in 1951. The first color telecast of a sporting event took place. It was from CBS.
Yeah.
Would you like to guess what the event was?
Was it golf?
It was not golf.
Tennis?
It was not tennis.
Was it the All-Star game?
It was not the All-Star game. It was, in fact, a horse race.
Horse race.
1964, Major League Baseball Baltimore Oriole Bob Johnson hits his 6th straight hit as a pinch hitter.
Wow. Okay.
Impressive.
1968, Hank Aaron hits number 500 of his career. This off of San Francisco Giant Mike McCormick.
What year was that again?
1968.
Okay, so it would take him 6 years to hit another 214.
1987, the Rookie of the Year award is renamed in honor of Jackie Robinson. It was named for Chuck Heinz before, but they decided to change it.
Yeah.
He's no rookie.
In 2010, playing against one of his former teams, former Red Raider Josh Bard, now with the Seattle Mariners, goes 4 for 5 with 4 RBI and a double and a homer in a 9-3 win over the Indians in Cleveland. And in 2019, Wimbledon's men's tennis. Novak Djokovic wins the longest Wimbledon final over Roger Federer, 7-6, 1-6, 7-6, 4-6, 13-12 in 4 hours, 57 minutes. It was his 16th Grand Slam title.
5 hours long.
It is National Macaroni and Cheese Day.
Let's go.
You gonna have some today, Jimmy?
Not for lunch.
Not for lunch. Okay.
Well, actually, yes.
Okay.
It's not typical macaroni and cheese. There's more to it, but there's macaroni involved and there's cheese involved.
Okay.
That's all the requirements it makes for macaroni and cheese. Yes, that counts.
There's also meat and sauce involved, but
Nice.
yeah.
Remember, these are just celebrities when I'm saying birthdays here. That doesn't mean that they're good people. They're just famous. Okay. Conor McGregor turns 38 today.
Boy.
Jane Lynch is 66. Matthew Fox is 60. Darrell Rivas, 41. Steve Stone, 79. Tim Hudson, 51. And Robin Ventura is 59.
So how many bad people were on that list?
Well, at least the first one.
At least the first one, yeah.
Some people would probably put Ventura on that list.
Yeah.
Let's dust up with Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's an Oklahoma State Cowboy.
On this day, 1789, Persian revolutionaries and munition troops storm and dismantle the Bastille, a royal fortress and prison that had come to symbolize the tyranny of the Bourbon monarchs on this day in 1789, known as Bastille Day.
I was going to ask you, so today is Bastille Day then?
The dramatic action signaled the beginning of the French Revolution, a decade of political turmoil and terror in which King Louis XVI was overthrown and tens of thousands of people, including the king and his wife Marie Antoinette, were executed. And that is this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. Thank you, Jeff. You can weigh in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973.
I just kind of feel like the French Revolution that happened like right after the American Revolution happened was kind of our fault. Because we showed it could be done.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, hey, wait a minute. I mean, we don't got to deal with this king person anymore? I like this plan. And then they stormed the Bastille.
Okay. And kind of gave him the map, so to speak. This is interesting. I saw this yesterday, and this is regarding the upcoming basketball tournament, what they're doing on the women's side, but not doing on the men's side. I'm going to see if you guys would prefer that they do this on the men's side as well. Starting next year for the women's tournament, the top 16 teams will be placed in the bracket in their true ranking, regardless of their conference affiliation. So in the past, the top 4 teams in a conference would be placed in different regions to keep them from playing each other until the Final Four. But that's not going to be the case this year. Last year, the SEC had 4 teams in the top 8 seeds: Texas, South Carolina, LSU, and Vanderbilt. LSU was dropped down to 7th and Vandy to 8th to avoid having them being in the same regions. So this is what the Women's Basketball Committee Chair, Amanda Braun, said to ESPN. We put a lot of time into establishing these top 16 teams in the order they go. You're splitting hairs to decide who has the edge, and some of that is undone by these principles. To all of us, the work we did and the work those teams did justifies keeping them where they are in the group of 16. How do you feel about that?
I kind of go both ways on it. I don't love playing conference foes early on, so I think any way you can separate them is better. But if you're getting put in a worse spot and your ranking is harmed and you're now having to play a tougher team because they didn't want you to play somebody from your conference, I'm not in favor of that either. That doesn't seem fair. Yeah,
I mean, in the case of, like for the case of Texas Tech, you probably would not have played. You wouldn't have played LSU in your second game. You know, it hurts other teams too. If you lower if you take a good team and make them a lower seed, then the team that they're going to play, it's not a benefit to them either. So it makes that game even more challenging.
I do feel though that
yes, but You lost by 50.
I know, but I'm not saying you wouldn't have won. I'm just saying it makes it more difficult for the other team as well.
Sure.
I feel like if you just keep it out of the first weekend, I think that's fair for everyone involved, which is probably where the 16 comes from.
Yeah, probably so.
At that point, it's like, well, you've made the second weekend. Everyone has been excited for a whole week. Now you're facing a team you're very familiar with. I think that softens that blow.
Well, the other thing too is you have this dominance from leagues like the SEC or the ACC or the Big 12, Big 10. I mean, it's going to happen more and more and more. Because you're going to have lesser of the non-Power 5 teams be in that seeding.
Right.
The men's selection committee is still going to separate out the top 4 seeds in each conference and put them in different regions. Okay, so the SEC, ACC, Big 10, and Big 12. Those are the only conferences that had 4 or more teams in the NCAA field. So I just thought that was. I think on the women's side with Texas, South Carolina, LSU, and Vanderbilt. I mean, you got 4 teams in the SEC in the top 8. I mean, it's hard to boot them around, right? I think
when there's that many.
Yeah, when there's that many, and then you have the Big 10 that gets involved in that, and then the Big 12 too, to a degree. So it just seems like I think there's more of a concentration that on the women's side than the men's side, but. Anyway, that's coming this year along with 12 additional teams. So, and on the men's side, they're going to have a site in Dayton and a site in Wichita for the opening round, or however you want to call it. The
Play-in games.
Play-in
That's what
games.
I want to call it.
Play-in games. Okay, play-in games. We'll consider. We'll just call it that. Play-in games.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. So Tubby Smith will go into the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame, and there's 5 others that will go in as well. And I never liked him. I didn't like him I think I liked him more as a baseball player than I did as a college basketball player or Boston Celtic. But Danny Ainge will go in for his playing ability at BYU. He just always rubbed me the wrong way. Danny Ainge as a player, and he's just cocky,
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they liked Danny Ainge.
Okay.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, he's always been known as a bit of a
P.
Richard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those things too. Yeah.
I also don't know that I've ever heard his baseball career mentioned.
He played for the Blue Jays.
No idea.
Yeah, he.
I have his rookie card.
Yeah, he was a 2-way player in college, and then chose baseball, and then played basketball for the Celtics. Walt Hazzard will go in as a coach from UCLA, and he'll go in as a player. He was also a coach, but was more known for his playing ability and what he did in leading the Bruins to multiple national championships. He's been gone for quite some time, I think 15 plus years, and it seems like he should have gone in a long time ago. I don't know how all this works in terms of the nomination and the voting and the selection. This one surprised me. I think he's deserving, but it just surprised me. And that was Ted Owens from Kansas. He led the Jayhawks to a couple Final Fours, but at the end, he was the coach my senior year there, and he ended up getting fired, and Allen Fieldhouse was half full and sub 500 in the Big 8 and back-to-back years. The thing that Ted could do more than anything, though, was he could recruit. And 2 guys that were really, really big players for Larry Brown and his first Final Four team were recruited by Ted Owens. So I'm glad to see him get the credit, and he's been well received since he was dismissed at Kansas. But he was a guy that was a longtime assistant and head coach, but he was a young man when he was ousted at KU. Glenn Rice at Michigan, that goes without saying. He's very deserving, don't you think, Jamie?
Great player.
Great player.
Championship.
Yeah, and then Jay Wright at Villanova. I mean, all he did was win a couple of national championships. So it seems very deserving for him to go in. It's weird how Jay Wright gets in right away, and he should. And it took a long time for guys like Ted Owens and Walt Hazzard and Tubby Smith to get in. And I think Coach Smith is deserving. I mean, he took 5 different teams to the NCAA tournament. I think he's one of like 3 people to do that. Lon Kruger is one of those guys that did that, and Rick Pitino is one of those guys that has done that. Pitino might be 6 now for Pitino in terms of how he's bounced around. He was at Providence, and he was at Louisville, he was at Kentucky, he was at St. John's, and I think there's one other that I'm missing, but at any rate, to take 5. And what's surprising about Tubby Smith is the area that was the most fertile, Memphis, is the team that he didn't take to an NCAA tournament.
That was a little bit surprising.
Because he was at Tulsa and he was at Kentucky and Minnesota and Texas Tech, but didn't take Memphis to an NCAA tournament. But that's just kind of the way it goes for him. And I'm sure that there's guys that played for Coach Smith that speak very highly of him. And he also was at Georgia, Kentucky, before he went to Kentucky. He was at Georgia. And took them to NCAA tournament too. So, at any rate, let's see here. What departure was worse, him or Beard? And you responded that
I thought
Tubby was more gutless.
Yeah, I just didn't like how he handled it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really bad. I mean, Chris Beard went to his alma mater. We can all talk about it being a bad decision or whatever, but you understand, right? I mean, it is expected to a certain degree, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just waiting for April 1st to get around because the buyout from him to Texas Tech was less, and once we got past that date, the thing that was bad about Beard was he couldn't just leave. He had to ransack the place and demand that you get on the plane with him now or you're not getting on, and it just was all it was almost like a takeover, so to speak. I mean, it's just crazy how that all went down. You had to kind of protect the fort, so to speak, and in terms of taking stuff with him and people, and that's understandable, but I mean, it was very hostile.
Yes, it was.
It was very hostile, but you get it.
I just had a lot more understanding of the Beard situation.
Yeah. And I don't know that the next guy after Tubby Smith, I don't know, like if Chris Beard hadn't come here, let's just say Chris Beard hadn't come here. Let's just say he had stayed at UNLV. The next, whoever was coming here, okay, was going to inherit a really good basketball team. Were they going to take you to a Final Four? I don't know, because I mean, don't know. Don't know who the next coach would have been if Beard had turned you down. But Beard wasn't going to turn you down. He had too much invested here. The thing that was unfortunate for him was that he had just taken a job at UNLV, and I'm sure the UNLV folks aren't very happy with Chris Beard either.
Probably not.
But some of that was their own responsibility too, because they hadn't locked in his contract, and it was getting clunky with the chancellor and the board of regents and things. And those guys were they were literally living at a hotel. And when they came here, they brought all their stuff on the plane. It's like there wasn't any reason for moving vans. They just brought all their suitcases and got on the plane and landed in Lubbock.
At the same time, just like I'm saying you understood why Chris Beard left here to go to his alma mater at Texas, you would have also thought UNLV is like, well, he's got a chance to go coach in a Power 4 conference where he previously was an assistant and has, history there.
Yeah.
And so they probably were disappointed. At the same time, there was an understanding.
Yeah, they probably didn't like how it went down, but at least it wasn't the kind of the ransacking of the place. They didn't use weapons or anything, but damn near. 7:23 this morning here on the morning drive. So I do think, I think if you looked at who gave you the most relevance, because you had no relevance prior to Tubby Smith. Tubby Smith gave you relevance, and then Chris Beard, finished the highway to the Final Four, and it damn near collapsed on you but you had too many things going on with the Adams regime. Even everything that went bad, and as bad as that looked and everything, you still had you had a very firm base, and you had a great facility and donors that were willing to contribute and things like that helped to make for an easier transition for Grant McCaslin. For as bad as the Adams deal was, you had enough equity that you had still plenty of energy that was positive that Coach McCaslin could come in and have some success and staying power. So hopefully we'll get a couple more players and see where that takes us. And the basketball season will be here soon.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, giving Jamie a break for the first time in a while on the Morning Drive for the question of the day. And it's very topical for what's happening tonight in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Gentlemen, you are now officially the czar of Major League Baseball.
Commissioner.
Nope. You are above the commissioner.
Above the commissioner.
You control everything.
Oh, czar.
For one thing.
I'd love to be a czar.
The catch is you have to change one thing about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. If you want to make it in the same city every year, if you want to make it, you want to expand the rosters, you want to limit the rosters, you want to get rid of the 25, you want to get rid of the rule that every team has to be represented, whatever the one thing is, but you have to make one change. We all agree that the baseball is the best All-Star game, but you have to make one change. What change are you making?
You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I already said mine last week. Right? I don't think that every team should get an All-Star. I think it should be the best players. I think the home team, should be guaranteed a player. That's it. I want the best players. Because there are players that are not in the All-Star game this year because some terrible team had just one guy that was good enough, even though he wasn't as good as other players who are sitting at the house. I mean, I think Davis Martin is being affected by this. Yeah.
Okay. I like that everybody's represented. I like that every team's represented. I'd like to think that there's at least an all-star on every team. I don't like that Davis Martin got left out, but I'm for that. I love the fact that they're finally getting away from the standard National League, American League uniforms, but I want both teams to wear their primary home jerseys. I want to see their primary color, like the Dodger white, the Royals in white, the Rangers could be. I think the Rangers white, whatever their primary home jersey, because they have red and they have some blue and they have. I don't want to see any gray. No gray. No gray. I want to see their primary home jerseys for the American League and the National League. Right now, the National League is going to wear their primary home, and the American League is going to wear their primary road. There's generally not very many road jerseys that I care for. I want to see the Yankees in their pinstripes. I don't want to see them in their gray.
Yeah, but everybody can't be wearing white.
Yeah, why not? I mean, wear your primary jersey. Not everybody has white. But I mean, the Yankees have pinstripe.
Yeah, but it's still, you just don't want everybody wearing white.
Well,
that's fine.
I mean,
You're allowed to want that.
I'm the czar for the moment. That's what I want. I want them to wear their primary jersey. Nothing, no city league stuff. No, nothing tricked up.
City league,
City
Connect.
City Connect. I hate those. I hate if
I like the Rangers' new ones.
I hate the City Connects, but that's old man yelling at the clouds.
I have mixed feelings about the City Connects. There are some that are done very well. I like the new Rangers one. The White Sox one is growing on me. I like the old one better. Not all of the teams do a good job of their City Connects, which is sad because they could be. And we also lost the Rangers red jersey because of the City Connect, so I'm a little bitter about that. What I would change about the All-Star game, it's the complete opposite of Jamie. I like that one member of every team is represented. I don't like that teams that are at the bottom of their division have 3 All-Stars. That bothers me, but that's where we sit today. I would expand the roster. I am for a larger roster if it means we get all the All-Stars and we get one representative from each team. They don't have to play. It's not a everybody has to play thing, but everybody needs to be represented. So if the Major League All-Star teams were normal rosters 25, if this was 45, it wouldn't bother me a bit.
Well, it's bigger than a regular roster.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say, I was thinking it was 30 already.
It wouldn't bother me if you took it to 100. Well, 100 would be ridiculous. There would be like 100 people down the you'd go from baseline to the foul poles, but it's an all-star game. It's supposed to be fun. You want the best players there, and baseball does a really good job of getting the players to participate in the All-Star game, unlike the Pro Bowl, or you don't really play basketball in the NBA All-Star game. But getting all of the All-Stars there and having a team representative doesn't feel like two sides of a coin. You can do both.
It's 34 right now, by the way. 20 position and 14 pitchers.
Put it to 50. It doesn't matter to me. Let's get the All-Stars and have somebody
hard to get
there.
Everybody in the ball game if it's 50.
I don't care if you play.
I want to go back to the everybody needs to be represented thing, right, Chuck? And I want to ask you this. I mean, so when your grandson, who's got better grades than others, when he gets this prime lunch slot that you think he deserves,
right,
because he has better grades,
right?
I mean, should the kids without good grades, should they be represented in the prime lunch slot too, or should they not be?
There's only so many slots in the prime lunch slot,
just like in the All-Star game. Let the kids who earn it have it, right?
Maybe every class should be represented.
Let the Major League Baseball players that earn it be in the All-Star game.
Yeah. Well, life's not always fair.
Okay. Have we said that about your grandson's lunch slot?
Yeah, the lunch
we
slot.
We didn't spell that off then.
Yeah, the prime lunch slot. Yeah. That's a good point. Now you make why do you see the problem with you is you don't do anything to contaminate your brain so you remember all this stuff. You have this index file in your brain that you're able to go back and reference things.
I think we all remember the lunch conversation.
That's a pretty good one.
I'd forgotten about it, to be honest with you.
I wonder why you might have forgotten an embarrassing moment for yourself.
Yeah, well,
when you cut in line in front of kindergartners and they called you out for it. I'll never forget that.
I was waiting. I had a 6-year-old waiting on me. I needed to get back to him. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Not if it includes cheating other people. No.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
3 of 3 on Lubbock Sports Station Double T 97.3 with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. The three of us come to you from the First United Bank studio. Continue to take your thoughts and comments. The Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline is open as well. An hour from now, it's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score. You'll hear Dan Patrick, if you so choose, on Double T 97.3. Also, top of the hour, it's the bottom line. I say the top of the hour. Top of the noon hour, it's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score. So, Choice and his buddies, his talking buddies, will be in from noon to 3. And then it's Tech Talk this afternoon where Jamie was the star yesterday, and Rob Rowe.
I mean, Rob Rowe's there. He's the
Rob
star.
Rowe and Jamie Lent. That was a A-Team Deluxe yesterday on Tech Talk. Star of Stars.
It's one way to call it. I don't know that I would agree with you, but okay.
Stars of Stars. Yeah, no. It's and Talking Buddies. You like that with Choice? His Talking Buddies.
Yeah, he talks to a lot of people.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
Some of them actually even listen.
You think? I don't know.
Yeah, I bet Trent does. He's a nice guy.
Trent probably does. You know.
Sneed and I, not so much.
Well, yeah, it just goes to that. I mean, I'm no one. I'm no one to call that pedal.
Yeah, I was about to say, careful there, pot. The kettle is boiling.
Yeah, I can be very bad at that.
I was thinking the next time that Sneed fills in for me, Jeff, you should do take versus take with those two.
I would have to ask the questions every time.
Exactly. Yeah. Let the two who, if they looked in the mirror, they would see each other. Let them do battle with each other.
He takes great offense to that.
Yeah.
He does. He takes.
He's a little taller, and
he does.
You know,
he's better looking.
I mean, he's been clearly in the sun a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but
he's better looking. Yeah, it's no
I don't
question.
know about better looking.
Oh yeah, he's better. He's a better athlete, better looking, better talker.
Better athlete. He was a kicker, Chuck.
I know.
He was a kicker, not an athlete.
Yeah.
He was good on our softball team, though. He did good.
Do you miss the softball days?
Himself. No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Not at all.
I got out at the right time.
Okay. Bobby Hot Dog sounds like Chuck is posturing for a raise. Yeah.
Chuck can give himself a raise every day.
A raise? Chuck's posturing to be on Tech Talk.
Yeah.
I got some opportunities for you. I really do.
No.
I'm going to make you happy, Chuck.
No,
Yeah.
Here,
It's football season. You're going to get your chance.
It's football season.
You know what you should do, Jamie? Flip the two Kansas guys. Let Chuck host Tech Talk for a week, and bring Clinton here for a week.
I can't do it for a week. That'd be way too much. Sneed and I'll be together a week from Monday, so maybe that's the day.
Are you sure about that?
Well, no, I'm not.
That's it.
It's a change since then. We kind of got a lot of schedule changes going on here, but that's all right. All right, this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Chuck, if the Lady Raiders were selected to go to Wichita, would you go since you hate that city? I'd go, but that's on the men's side, not on the women's side. Yeah, I'd go. I'd spend as little money as possible in Wichita. That's the rule. Let's see here. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I'll bet you a Coke the concept of eligibility goes away within the next year or so. In other words, you'll be able to play as long as you provide value, just like the pros. Wow.
Goodness.
That's a bold statement.
Sure is.
Probably 5 years ago, I said, well, that's ridiculous. But, I can see that happening.
That seems a little bit over the top, right?
It does. It does. But somebody else points out these are all student athletes. They're wanting to finish their degree. Yeah.
With a pukey face afterwards. I think that one was completely sarcastic.
Oh, I do too. I knew it was.
Pukey face.
From Syntex Hank. I can't be the only one who partially hopes all this let's sue or being mistreated stuff causes the NCAA to just collapse and a new day dawns.
I don't think you're the only one, no. And I think that's what people feel like it's going to take. Is just finally the NCAA to just fall apart and not exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, we got to build something up.
And you got to do something else.
The SEC, Big Ten, and the Notre Dame ADs will get together and they'll come up with a
plan for us, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well. And we'll all go, thank you. Can I have another?
Is that what Winfield does?
No.
You've taught him not to beg?
He'll stand.
He'll stand.
He can stand on his hind legs if he wants something.
Can he?
Yeah, moonwalk over to the dog treat bowl.
The fact that he was a kicker is why Chuck champions his fan club.
Oh, that's probably fair. I should have known.
Yeah. Chuck, are you and Fink going to Canada with the Lady Raiders? We are not.
Oh, Canada.
I mean, that's
bad.
That's an exhibition kind of thing, and I don't think our services are needed for that.
Yes. I have many jokes.
I think that some would say our services, or at least mine, aren't
No,
needed
that's
at
not
all.
what I meant. I meant that you said that's an exhibition. That's Chuck's more of an exhibitionist. He's not into exhibitions. Those are different. I guess
not an exhibitionist.
You can have an exhibition of exhibitionists.
No, that's
Then Chuck would be on the trip.
Scott says, wow, what an epic home run derby where the city of Philadelphia tries to boo every hitter that's not on the Phillies. Okay.
We're not surprised by this, right?
Yeah.
No, I also don't hate it. It's kind of good fun.
Yeah,
right?
it is good fun.
I would expect the same thing out of Yankee fans.
And it's also Philly.
Yeah.
They booed Santa Claus. Same fans.
Sure.
Same Eagles fans.
I was waiting for that. I mean, I could have bet my entire life savings times 10 that Jeff was going to say they booed Santa Claus. So
cheered a career-ending injury for Michael Irvin on the field. When every other sports franchise in the history of the world, when somebody's hurt.
Okay, now that you look at Michael Irvin, don't you think it was time for him to be done? Maybe they just realized, hey, this dude's going nuts. He needs to save himself and get off the football field.
In every other level of sports and football, if someone's hurt, everybody goes quiet till they get up, if it's on a stretcher or whatnot, and then you applaud, except in Philly.
It was Michael Irvin, man.
Great point here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Chuck can't do Tech Talk on Fridays. How would he make his crosstown Friday afternoon meetings? Great point. Mm-hmm. Great point.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.